Hey guys, what's going on? So again come up with a new video, and this time we will discuss about the nil rated, exempted as well as a non GST inward supply or outside supply under GST. So before to start the video, you should first understand that why it is important to understand you about the three different concepts of the mix nil rated supply, exempted as well as a non GST supply. So why it is important to understand you guys? So it is understand because the details relating to the nil rated, exempted as well as the non GST supply is given under table number 8 of GSTR 1, table number 7 of GSTR 2 as well as table number 5 of GSTR 3B in respect of inward supply of those nil rated, exempted as well as non GST supply. So that's why you should understand, and because a lot of people are really making the mistake, they are just filling nil in all the three tabs. So they are making the mistake. So I have in the knowledge that a lot of people don't really know about this item, and they are just making the mistake in filling out that the table of the GSTR 3B. So I decided to I should make a video in which I will update or educate you about these three items. So first of all these three different things like the nil rated, exempted under section 11 and the non GST supply will be commonly called, or the three different things will be commonly called as exempted supply under section 2 subsection 47 of the CGST Act. So all the three different component is a part of one single component, which is called the exempted supply under section 2 subsection 47. So nil rated, exempt under section 11 and non GST supply will be called as exempted supply under section 2 subsection 47 of CGST Act. So exempted supply and the exempt under section 11 is different thing. Remember that collectively it will be called exempted supply, but individually that one is particular, which is called exempt under section 11. And when you see the detail in GSTR 1, 2 as well as in the GSTR 3B, the exempt which is written just besides the nil rated column, it is exempt under section 11, not the exempt supply under section 2 subsection 47. So you have to give the detail only of the exempt under section 11. So we should understand that what exactly are these three components. So before to understand the nil rated, we should first understand what exactly is the exempt under section 11. So under section 11, the government has the power to notify any goods or services which they consider that it is in the public interest to make such kind of a notification by which they can exempt particular goods or services from the GST. So the government has issued the 5 notification under section 11 to exempt some goods or services, but we will discuss here only 3 notification because 2 notification is not much relevant to you guys. So now first notification is notification number 2, which is regarding the exemption of goods under GST. Then second notification is notification 8, where they exempt the tax which is payable by the recipient on the reverse charge basis if the value of aggregating from all the unregistered person in a particular day is up to 5,000 rupees. So that is also exemption under section 11. Third one is notification number 12, and regarding the exemption of service under GST. So all these 3 notification is in the tab of central tax bracket weight, central tax in rate. So remember that these 3 notification is in the central tax rate notification tab in the gst.gov.in. There is also a 2 notification, which is notification number 9 and notification number 10. 9 is applicable on the TDS deductor and 10 is applicable for those one who are dealing in the second hand goods or service. So we will not discuss about those section notification 9 and 10. So notification 2, notification 8 and notification number 12 gives you the exemption relating to goods, services or the inward supply in which you are liable to pay tax under the reverse charge. So exemption of goods is given under notification number 2. If you check out the notification number 2, then the opening wording is like that: in exercise of the power given under section 11, the government hereby exempts some goods for in the public interest. So they listed out the long list. So the list is like the wheat, then pulses, and then besan, maida, something like flour, atta. So that is the list of items which is given under notification number 2. And if you check out notification number 12, there's a lot of entries in that also, like the GT related service and the government services. A lot of government services are also exempt services, and then education service, medical service. There are a lot of lists there in the notification number 12. But whether the notification 2, which is exemption of goods, and the notification 12, exemption of service, is a nil rated or the exempt under section 11. So if you check out notification number 2 regarding the exemption of goods, there is a list of goods. There is nowhere written like rate of taxes, which is nil. So in notification number 2, there is nothing mentioned regarding the rate of taxes, which is nil rated. And if you check out the notification number 12, there is a column of rate of tax in which there is a mention of nil. So in notification 2, there is nowhere written as a nil. In notification number 12, there is written in the column like nil. So whether we can say that exemption relating to service is nil rated or exempt under section 11. So in my view, both exemption of goods and exemption of service is exempt under section 11. It is not the nil rated. Under the excise, there was a special schedule which is called the Central Excise Tariff Act. There, in that that is itself a part of the act. In that, there is also all the list of the goods on which there is a list of taxes. So when there was a nil rated anything item, so in the particular table they mentioned that that item is nil rated. So therefore, in the Central Excise Tariff Act, that one regarding the nil rated is very clear. But in GST, the government has the power to notify by way of notification any exemption of goods. So they exempt any goods by way of notification. So in my view, both the exemption of goods as well as exemption of service is exempt under section 11, not the nil rated. So whenever you receive or you supply anything which is exempt by way of notification 2 and 12, then fill out that column, that data in exempt under section 11 table, not in the nil rated. So technically speaking, there's no nothing in the GST which is nil rated right now. So that is the that is my view. And then exempted, I have said this. Nil rated, nothing is there. And then non GST supply. So what exactly is the non GST supply? Non GST supply is like the liquor as well as the petroleum product in which that product is outside the scope of GST. They are the goods. They are the goods, but that is outside the scope of GST. In that item, there is a local VAT which is way higher than the rate of GST. So therefore, they are outside the scope of GST. You have to mention this one into non-GST supplies. And there is one issue like electricity, whether the electricity is outside the scope of GST. So no, GST is a service. It is inside the scope of GST, but that is also exempted by way of in the notification number 12, and the serial number 25 is regarding the exemption relating to the electricity. And if you check out the serial number 25 of notification number 12, they have said like the transmission or distribution of electricity by the transmission or distribution utility, like there is a board or authority which transmit or distribute electricity, so their service is exempted. So technically speaking, electricity bill if you receive, then you have to mention that one into GSTR 2 table number 7, electricity bill, because that is exempted. So in exempt under section 11 column, you have to mention that one. That is not the outside of GST. But if you receive or if you supply the liquor or the petroleum product, then you should mention it in the non-GST supply. So that is the thing. And if you will check out the GSTR 1 table number 8, you have to give the detail of outward when you supply these three things, like nil rated, technically nothing in nil rated, and then exempt under GST, exempt under section 11, and non-GST outer service. So when you supply these two items, then you have to mention in this. When you receive something which is exempt under section 11 and the non-GST item, then mention in table number 7. And table number 5 or GSTR 3B is regarding only the inward supply of nil rated, exempt, as well as the non-GST supply. So when you receive something which is exempt under section 11 or non GST, then you have to give the detail in table number 5 of GSTR 3B. And the thing is like exempted goods and then exempted services, and this one is like that. And also in GSTR 2 and GSTR 3B, you have to also give the detail of the purchases which you done from unregistered person in aggregating of 5,000 rupees in a particular day, because that one is also exempted under notification number 8. So therefore you should give the detail of inward supply on which you are liable to pay tax on the reverse charge, but because of that exemption number notification number 8, you are exempted to not pay the tax on those supplies. So you should give the detail of those one which is purchased from the unregistered person in table number 7 of GSTR 2 and table number 5 of GSTR 3B. You don't need to give the detail of reverse charge exemption up to 5,000 rupees in the table number 8 of GSTR 1, because GSTR 1 is regarding the outward supply. So when you receive some goods in which there is exemption for liability to pay tax and the reverse charge, so you should not write or fill data in table number 8 of GSTR 1, because GSTR 1 is for the outward supply, GSTR 2 is for the inward supply. So therefore those one in which there is the exemption of 5,000 rupees, you should give the data in table number 7 of GSTR 2. So that is a provision relating to the nil rated, exempted as well as non GST supply. So that's how you have to fill that data. A lot of people are making mistake. They are just simply ignoring all those 3 tabs. So they are thinking, okay, that is a very different thing. So let me just tell you, there is a few things on which you should take into account, like this one will be applicable on, I think, all of these. And then also like exemption of service, like the electricity bill, everyone received the electricity bill, so you should also give the detail of electricity bill into table number 12. And when you receive the petrol or the diesel for your generator into your office, then you should give the detail of those one into the table number 7 of GSTR 2 and table number 5 of GSTR 3B in the column of non GST inward supply. So alright guys, that was a quick video, and if you want to make another video, then suggest on the comment section that what topic you want to listen, you want to hear, you want to know from me. So comment on the comment section which topic which you want to know in the next video. And if you're not the part of this channel, then what are you doing, man? Are you kidding me? You gotta be kidding me. Just subscribe the channel and become a part of this channel. Alright guys, so now we will meet again in the next video. Till then, bye bye.